Hello everyone and welcome back to my CyberPunk game. Hopefully Darius has now sorted out all the technical issues. This is all being recorded to your hard drive, correct?
Boat.
Correct.
Excellent. Brilliant.
Boat?
Now, would you like me to begin the game, everyone?
Pretty please.
Okay. Right. Let us begin. Actually, let us not begin, because I've just realised there's still a bit more prep we have to do. Okay. Are we all ready to begin?
Yep.
Sure.
Okay. The year is 2030X. For various reasons, all of you have ended up on this shitty freighter. Pardon my language. You are headed for Japan for various reasons. You've all chosen this freighter because in the case of Huan Gui and Dong Hyun, you are dirt poor. And this ship provided you very cheap passage to Japan, where you seek a better life. In the case of you, gentlemen, Jim, the captain of this vessel is glad to lose passengers on the registry for the right price. You wish to be lost among the registry. Now, as we begin, you are within the bowels of the freighter. It's sort of, the walls are rusted, there's cargo containers pushed to the side so people can walk around, so people can socialize, they can sit down. It's a freighter that's been hastily converted to hold passengers who aren't too picky about their surroundings. There's even a little bar at one end of the room. Also, there's a old-fashioned television on the other end of the room, surrounded by several seats for people to watch. And that is where you are all seated right now. Right now, what's appearing on the television screen is a BBC international television programme. A very smart-looking, balding newsreader. He is reading to the screen. He's reading the following. Hello, everyone. Welcome to BBC News International. The news tonight. Jim Cauldwell, a member of the House of Lords, has been indicted on charges of child pornography and conspiracy. Yesterday, he called a press conference for what he said was an important announcement. However, before he could turn up at this conference, he had fled the country. Receiving an anonymous tip, police raided Mr. Cauldwell's house and found disgusting elements on his computer too obscene to describe in this broadcast. As such, Mr. Cauldwell has been titled an international fugitive, and there has been a reward placed out by the Foreign Office to anyone who can give information related to his possible arrest. Now, UKIP MP William Barnstable had the following to say. I am shocked and disgusted that Jim Cauldwell, a man who'd been a colleague for so many years, has resorted to this sick and aberrant behaviour. I used to respect Jim, but I suppose it goes to show just how far the influence of foreign organisations, links to terrorism and pornography and such other filth, how they have been a corrupting influence on even such sacred institutions as the House of Lords. I hope that Mr. Cauldwell is soon brought to justice. After this, you see a picture of Jim Cauldwell on the screen, clearly displayed in his bowler hat. Dalrius, can you give me a description of yourself at this point?
Certainly can. Gentleman Jim is seen in a very fetching grey bowler hat. He's got a very trimmed, kempt moustache. He's wearing a grey waistcoat, white shirt, red tie, grey trousers, black shoes, and holds himself with an air of dignity and purpose.
I see. At this point, Gentleman Jim, you noticed there's a rather heavy-set looking man beside you. You would imagine he's Chinese, possibly Korean. You're not entirely sure. He has dragon tattoos all the way down his arm, and he has mohawk, and he also has a long, thin beard. He turns his head slightly, and he looks at you. Then he looks back at the television. Then he looks back at you again. He speaks to you in a kind of broken English. The man on TV looks a lot like you, yes?
Jim eyes the television and looks at the man. Not at all, sir. He doesn't look a thing like me.
But have same clothes, same face. Everything looks the same. Seems strange.
Are you telling me all those English folk look alike?
No, I'm not saying that, Round Eye. I'm just saying, as far as people that I've seen, you look very much like the man on the television.
How dare you, sir, call me a round eye? That's terrible. What sort of polite society goes round insulting people visiting?
Polite society? Oh, you know how far away from polite society you are right now. You are on a freighter that is used to smuggle triads onto Japanese soil, and you talk about polite society? Where the hell do you think you are?
Politeness isn't a place, it's a state of being. You, sir, could learn a thing from that.
Well, I am not here to discuss philosophy.
Me neither. Good day, sir. And Gentleman Jim begins to walk away.
At this point, you notice a man walks over to the bar. He starts talking to a few of his friends. He occasionally points over to you. At this point, you also notice, by the way, Huan Gui and Dong Hyun, you have overheard this entire conversation, as you happen to be sitting quite close at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you wish to say anything or do anything?
I'll turn around and watch.
I see.
I imagine Huan Gui would be sitting with his hood up, still continuing to listen, drinking Chinese tea.
Drinking Chinese tea, I see. And what
Yes.
did you use to buy this Chinese tea?
I offered healing in services for it, but because they were astounded with my politeness, they offered me 1 cup of free tea, maybe?
Maybe.
Game Master request.
I will accept this for now.
Okay.
Bearing in mind from now on you'll have to pay for your own damn tea.
Okay.
Given
Goddamn tea.
you have literally no money.
Brick, can you do me a favour?
Yep.
Can you concentrate on the other characters for just a couple of minutes? I need a minor AFK, mate.
Okay, but please try to avoid these things.
Absolutely.
But try to set aside the time. Okay. Dong Hyun. Please describe yourself.
A rather short and scruffy looking man of very clear Asian descent, with scruffy hair and a thin moustache. He is currently wearing a long overcoat. Wait, is he? Yeah, long overcoat. With many pockets. You can see a single, rather nasty-looking shoe on his right leg, and on the other leg, protruding from the overcoat, you can see what looks to be a load of junk formed into a hoof, almost like a standing platform. You cannot see much. The coat goes down to about his ankles.
Right. At this point, Mr. Dong Hyun, the man who you saw talking to, who you suspect looks quite a lot like the man you just saw on TV.
Mm-hmm.
The Chinese man and a few of his dodgy-looking friends, again, sort of all dressed sort of in wife beaters, jeans, lots of tattoos, sort of very punky hairstyles. Him and a few of his friends, they approach you.
Hmm?
Hey, where are you from, man?
What language are they speaking?
They are speaking English.
I sort of stare at them blankly.
You not speak English?
Continue blank staring.
Okay, maybe let's try. He tries speaking to you in Chinese. How about this?
A little bit.
You speak some Chinese?
Small bit.
Okay. Where are you from?
Korea.
Oh, Korea. Hey, Yang Sun, you speak Korean, don't you? Ah, yes. A man identifying himself as Yang Sun. He's sort of got very thin eyes. He looks like he's sort of constantly squinting.
Racist.
Shut up. I'm not racist. You're the racist for pointing it out.
Hey, you made him.
Anyway, he's he's putting his sort of fingers together, sort of considering you. Do not worry, I am fluent in Korean. I can speak to you.
Ah, fantastic.
So, that is some nice-looking chrome you've got on you, friend.
Chrome?
Yes. Oh, forgive me, it is slang term for your augmented leg.
Oh, you can see that, yes. I thought I'd hidden that.
I have an eye for these things, my friend. The way you walk, the way you carry yourself. And if you'll forgive me, I've been watching you quite closely, the way you favor it.
Ah, yes. Yeah. Well, it's a necessity more than a choice.
I almost didn't notice it. Given how well it seems to be made, how well you seem to be able to walk with it. So where did you get it from?
I made it.
You made it yourself?
Yeah.
Ah, impressive. So,
Thank you.
tell me, maybe you want to get some more, huh? Maybe just one leg ain't good enough. Maybe you want an arm. Maybe you want an eye. Maybe you want something to please the ladies, you know? You know what I mean?
Yes. But I do think that these will cost quite a fair amount, and I'm on this boat for a reason.
What's the reason?
I can't afford the good boat.
Oh, that's fine. Me and my friends, we can't afford good boat either. He starts slapping them and they all start laughing. But I mean, we are all in a difficult situation. We all want to help each other out. We all immigrants looking for a better life, just like you.
Yeah.
My name is Hang Sung. We have a few friends over in Japan. I mean, how about you come with us when you come off the boat? I mean, you say you can't afford the chrome. It's fine, we can put you on maybe a payment plan or something, Something reasonable for people, immigrants like us,
Yeah, that sounds nice. Say, do you want to take a look at it?
Take a look, sure.
Alright. At this point, Don Hyun sort of props his left leg up on his chair and he pulls the overcoat away, revealing a very nasty looking robotic leg made composed primarily of wood or rusted metal. You could see the wires and circuit boards all sticking out.
Ugh. It's not much to look at, is it?
Does the job.
What's the job, friend?
Walking?
Yes. But it can do so much more, don't you think?
Yeah, it does.
Well, just remember, when you get off the boat, you come with us, okay?
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too.
He has a smile that seems very, very wide. He's almost sort of a maniacal grin. His friends start walking off.
Mm-hmm.
Just FYI, break, I'm back. Been back a while.
Okay, excellent. Right. Gentleman Jin, Huan Gui, Dong Hyun, what do you do to pass the time as the freighter nears its destination?
Cover my leg back up and go back to watching the TV. Actually, no, I don't go back to watching the TV. I can't understand what it's saying.
There are subtitles. There's Korean, Chinese subtitles.
Okay, I'd imagine Chinese, because if there's a lot of Chinese, yeah, that's probably more likely. And I can read Chinese, kind of. I'll glance at it, but I'll start lumbering my way over to the bar.
All right. What about you, Gentleman Jim and Huan Gui? How are you passing the time?
Sort of hanging back, not really getting involved with anyone. Probably just keeping an ear to the ground, see if there's any rumours going about on the ship, any useful information, anything that Jim might find interesting.
You want to just keep your ear to the ground for anything that's interesting? Okay?
Yeah, nothing in particular. Just
make me a streetwise roll.
Okay. Now we can test the old macro here.
Mm-hmm.
Jolly good. It is a 4.
Okay. You're walking around. You're sort of like leaning in, listening to conversations, striking conversations with people. You come upon seems to be a group of refugees. Sort of dressed in fairly shabby-looking clothes. They've got these massive, great backpacks bundled on them. Basically, they're just talking to each other. Actually, Gentleman Jim, what languages can you understand?
Also, Brick, just as a quick heads up, when we are going through game mechanics, if people are watching, they may not innately know said mechanics. So, for example, a passing roll of 4 would not be common knowledge to just average Joe watching.
Oh, yes. Okay, for those who do not know how Savage Worlds works, generally a 4 is considered a success. There you go. Now you know.
And your roles can be modified negatively or positively
Based on
situation.
circumstance.
Yeah.
But in this situation, there was no real kind of modifier one way or the other.
Now, I've not stated it in my bio break, but I would like to be able to speak Japanese somewhat well as English, being as I'm going to Japan.
Okay, so you can speak English and Japanese. Any other languages?
Probably not. He's not like a high-end sort of diplomat or anything. He's just, he's not really a diplomat, is he?
Okay, so why does he know some Japanese? He just sort of did a crash course.
He's got he's got his friend in Japan, of course. Interested in the Japanese culture, so this is how he's kept in touch with his friend.
The nobility and tradition of the samurai, that kind of thing, sort of interests him.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's not fantastic. You won't get any of the slang terms. It's sort of
you
like
can sort of speak it on a basic level.
Yeah.
Okay, right. He can speak. Maybe he's not brilliant at hiragana, katakana, kanji, but he can kind of possibly speak it. Okay, right. Okay. You overhear a group of refugees. Unfortunately, they're talking in Chinese, so you can't understand them. However, you find another group of refugees. They don't seem to initially understand each other's language. Like one group perhaps is Korean, one's Chinese, maybe one's from the Philippines, North Korea, South Korea, you can't be sure. So instead they kind of come to a compromise and start talking in English, which fortunately you do understand.
Cracking.
The conversation sort of goes a bit like this. I hear that it's a much better life in Japan. You may hear that, but it's not a utopia there. In Japan, I've heard stories, things that you must be careful of for refugees, immigrants. I hear that there are gangs roaming about stealing people's cyberware, leaving them to die in the gutter, and then they recycle them and repurpose them. Sell them who knows where. They even take people's brains and put them in cybernetic bodies and use them for things. I mean, Japan is a place of great technology, but that is a double-edged sword. And that's what you hear.
Jim continues to sort of remain in the background, and he's trying not to be sort of noticed. So if anyone's looking for him, just be aware he's trying not to be noticed, but he's just sort of mooching around, seeing what he can overhear still. He's going to do that for about another hour, and then he's going to head to the bar.
All right, Huan Gui, what are you doing?
Have I finished my tea?
If you want to, yes, you finished your tea.
Okay, I'd like to go over to the owner that gave me the Chinese tea and say thank you to them. Thank you for giving me the tea.
The barrel-chested guy grunts at you.
I give a slight bow and then I'd like to walk off. I'm going to be going around the sort of areas where there might be some families or, just like your general sort of folk that are trying to get the crossing for cheap. And I'm looking to see if anybody's maybe injured or practicing any form of martial arts.
I see. Okay. Give me a notice roll.
Okay.
Bloody hell. All right. Yeah, you look around the repurposed cargo hold. I mean, you find all sorts of people Yeah, you see lots of refugees, some of whom appear to have sustained injuries some way or another. You see a woman who's kind of clutching her baby. She's got kind of a black eye. She's sort of like looking around, sort of frenziedly, kind of shivering a bit. Basically, I mean, these are a group of refugees who were too poor to afford the good boats or a plane or whatever. I mean, and of course there are plenty of people who look like they could be criminals as well. They've got pretty like nasty scars, that kind of thing. As people practicing martial arts, you do see like some kind of tough guys, kind of like sort of shadow boxing. A few others kind of having some sort of like little fights and scuffles, showing each other techniques and stuff. These don't necessarily look like kind of martial artists as such. They look like people who like to fight or who have to fight by necessity. And also, you also see a guy who sort of walks with an unusual gait, as if he might have sort of cyberware on his leg. Also, what's strange is you see a white guy in a bowler hat who looks just like the terrorist supporting pedophile you just saw on the news. Just thought I'd point that out.
Right, to start off with, fair enough to the limped cyberware guy speaking to the nasty people, and fair enough to the paedophile, but I think I'm going to go over and speak to the woman that looks like she might be in a bit of distress. And I'm going to go up to it, and I'm going to take off my hood, which was up. It reveals my bald head, his shaven head, shaven face. He's got bright blue eyes and a big smile on as he walks over to her, his hands like both in front of him, almost as if he was praying, and he says, hello, my dear. May I ask the name of your child?
And what language are you saying this in?
Would it be possible to determine where she's from, like by looking at her?
No!
Okay,
Actually, you could make an educated guess based on her features.
Okay, I'd like to try that then.
Give me a notice roll. You look at her, you would guess she's Chinese. You aren't entirely sure, but you would guess she's Chinese.
Then I'll start with Chinese.
She replies to you in Chinese. She looks at you fearfully. Who are you? What do you want?
I continue smiling with my hands in front of me and say, my name is Huan Gui.
Stay away from me!
My dear, calm down. I'd like to, there is nothing. I'm in no means here to harm you. If anything, I could help you.
Help me. Many men have said they could help me before. And plenty of men look like the ones on this boat. Why are you any different?
My dear, I am just a simple martial artist. I'm here to seek people who would be worthy of my master's training, and in his training he taught me that I should be helpful to others, and you appear to need help.
She kind of looks at you sort of strangely. She sort of tilts her head, just looking at you as if you're completely mad. Are you some Westerner who's watched too many Bruce Lee movies? What?
I'll give a little laugh. My dear, not at all.
Then, what are you? Why have you come to me?
I look, I give like a little stare to the side. Do 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 do. I'm just a man.
And how are you going to help me?
I look to her again and I say, my dear, it appears you have a young one, and it also appears you are quite fear. You are quite full of fear. If you can tell me what it is you are fearful of, perhaps I could render some aid upon you.
My husband. He beat me. He didn't seem at first like that kind of guy, but they never do. And of course, he's a member of the Triads. At first he just says to me, oh, he just shakes people down, he just runs a few gambling dens. Nothing too bad. But it's never just that simple. I became scared for my life and my child's life. I shouldn't even be telling you this. Just leave me alone. I do not want any trouble.
I'd like to try persuade and say, my dear, I cannot offer you help if you do not allow me to help you. I can assure you I am a capable man myself.
Make me a persuasion roll at no modifier. Not particularly good, not particularly bad. Okay. Oh, by the way, you have free, just to let everyone know, Savage Worlds characters, unless they have a specific hindrance or a specific edge, they start with free bennies at the beginning of every session. And bennies allow for re-rolls, and they also allow for soak rolls on damage. Do you wish to use a benny, or are you going to go with free?
I would like to use a benny.
Very well. Re-roll me your persuasion attempt.
Do I also get to re-roll my wild dice?
Yes.
Oh, no! She's just not having it.
She just kind of looks at you. No. Every time I have trusted a man in the past, it has not worked out well. I have no reason to trust a stranger like you anymore.
I'll give her a bow, and I'll say, as you wish, my dear. I cannot aid those that do not wish me to aid them. I'll then walk off.
Okay. At this point, the shady-looking man and the equally shady-looking man, creepy-looking man, Hang Sung, they approach you at this point. The guy with the mohawk kind of like bumps into you quite deliberately. Hey, look at Round Eye here. He thinks he's Kung Fu Panda or something. Look at him. They all kind of start laughing at you.
I say, excuse me, I did not mean to bump into you.
Well, maybe I meant to bump into you. What do you think of that?
Well, I'd say that wasn't particularly polite of you, sir. However, it is up to you.
Can Gentleman Jim see this?
Yeah, you can see this.
Gentleman Jim is now paying attention. And how many was there? Was two of them, wasn't there?
There is Hang Sung.
Mm-hmm.
There is the guy with the mohawk,
Mm-hmm.
and there are two other guys.
Cool.
Totaling 4.
Okay, so I'm standing back, just paying close attention at the moment now.
Okay. Basically, two other guys start crowding around you as the guy with the mohawk kind of sort of stares you down. He bumps his chest up against you. Hey, Round Eye. You trying to appropriate Chinese culture, huh? Maybe we should take something from you.
I'd like to step back and I'd say, hey, if you thought I was stealing from Chinese culture, you would know yourself that Chinese culture would say that not to look for fights, but instead to avoid them. Is that not something you should be doing?
He just sort of laughs for a moment. Make me a persuasion roll.
Okay.
Oh, Round Eye. You've got balls. You're kind of stupid. You've got balls. I respect that. I tell you what. Maybe you're looking for opportunities in Japan, yes?
No. I'm not looking for any opportunities. I'm merely seeking someone who wishes to learn my particular art.
Your particular art? What is that?
Well, it does not exactly have a name, if I'm honest.
Doesn't have a name?
Well, everybody's kung fu is different, is it not?
Oh, you did the kung fu, huh? He starts just like kind of like punching his fists in front of you, just like stopping an inch or two in front of your face. They all kind of just sort of laugh derisively. Round Eye comes here like he thinks he's seeing some kind of a kung fu movie. Oh my goodness. I mean, I'd shake you down at this point, but to be honest, I kind of pity you.
I'll just give him a bow and say, well, if you pity me, sir, then that may be the case, but I'm not interested in any trouble or fighting here. I mean, you no harm.
Hey, why don't you show us a few of your moves, huh?
I'm not here to entertain you. I'm just here to seeking passage. I don't mean any harm. I'm not here to.
Hey, I wasn't asking. You show me some moves, you give us some entertainment, and we forgive the fact that you're kind of stupid.
I'd like to take another step back. I'm hoping to try and get these guys that are encircling me. I'm trying to basically get them in front of me again. I'm trying to do it quite slowly, so yeah. I'm hoping they don't keep moving forward to surround me again.
They are no longer surrounding you. Go on, show us some moves.
Oh, wait, 1 second. What's that over there?
Oh, you are seriously going to...
Yeah, totally doing it.
Oh look, it's Johnny Depp.
No, I'm just going to shout, what's that over there? And point, like, over there.
Bloody hell. Okay. Right.
Persuasion.
Is that
How many
persuasion?
minuses?
No, that's smart. It's a trick. It's smart.
All right. I'll allow it.
Modifiers?
-2, because that's kind of the oldest trick in the book, and you're doing it to like a gang of people who probably have seen or heard these tricks before.
Would it not be an opposing smarts roll?
It would be.
Yes. I don't get my wild die for this one, do I? Oh, I do? Okay.
You always get your wild die unless stated otherwise. Well, no, always get the wild die unless it's damage.
Okay. What's your highest roll?
5.
Okay. Everyone except for the slightly sort of creepy, squinty fellow turns around, and they look the other way.
Right.
Yep.
So I'd like to try and run the hell away.
All right. You run away. Do you try and like lose yourself in the crowd or whatever?
Yeah, sure. That'll do.
All right. Okay. Basically, they all turn around. Basically, Hang Sung just starts patting him. He's like, "Trick, you idiots! Look at him! He's running away!" And they start to pursue you. Please make me a let's see, an agility roll. Bloody hell!
Crikey.
All right. You get a great head start on them. Not only because you kind of trick most of them into looking the other way, but also because you are just barreling along. You are well trained. You're physically fit. You are gunning it out of there. Do you just try and like run just through the bowels of the ship? Just try and just run as fast as you can, or do you try and like lose them in the crowd or something?
I'm trying to sort of run around a corner, maybe lose them in a crowd and blend in again. I want
Right.
to. My plan is to try and get out.
Don't say maybe. Be specific.
Yeah, I'm trying to get out of line of sight and then hide in the crowd.
All right. Okay. Make me a stealth roll, please. Right. You have such a good head start on these guys that by the time you manage to get out of sight of them, you've got plenty of time to kind of like put your hood over, just hide, ingratiate yourself in the big crowd. You notice some of them running around, looking around, yelling and cursing. But it would appear that they've lost you. You can hear like Hang Sung talking to them. Do you always have to try and intimidate everyone who could be a potential customer? Yeah, I do. What's wrong with that? You gotta show them who's boss. You can show them who's boss after you've attained their services. There are other ways of getting what you want. That is why I'm in charge. You understand? Yeah, the others just sort of snort. If I see that guy again, I'm gonna kill him. They all sort of disperse.
Camera zoom out of Huan Gui.
All right. So you're just gonna kind of mingle among. Oh, by the way, Gentleman Jim, you see all of this. How do you respond to this?
Just grin slightly.
I see.
The amusement that they fell for the oldest trick in the book.
Okay, right.
Also, after finding out that information from before, I'm sort of going around looking for people with, cybernetics to give them a quiet warning about what I heard. Just not staying for a conversation about it. Just sort of saying, careful when you get to Japan. I've heard there's gangs that have given a kill for that, and then walk off.
I see. Make me a notice roll, please.
Oh, guess what? This guy's got notice. It's amazing.
Oh, brilliant! That's good.
Woo! Notice all the
things. Shit.
Look at him. He's at one with everything.
All right. You notice some people with cyberware. Some of which, honestly, kind of look like the kind of guys who don't need the warning. These are guys that look like they've got guns, or possibly swords. They look like they're in a group. Basically, you'd imagine they're criminals, There are a few refugees who seem to have cyberware. It looks sort of poorly maintained. I mean, there's some guy seems to have a cybernetic arm that just kind of hangs limply. I mean, you'd imagine that it sort of stopped working because sort of it's desynchronized with his body somehow. However, you do spot one guy who's not Huan Gui, but one guy. You do spot one guy who seems to be sort of quietly sort of sitting in a chair. He was sort of being badgered by those Hang Sung and his boys earlier. And sort of only because you've got very, very sharp eyes do you notice that he seems to be having he seems to have some cyberware on him. He's just got a slight, ever so slight limp when he walks, and you notice from like underneath his like trousers a glint of metal.
In that case, I shall quietly let him know.
All right, Zinc. A man in a bowler hat who looks very similar to the nasty man on the news walks over to you. And he says the following.
Yes, be a little bit careful when you get to Japan. I've heard there are people that kill for what you've got on your leg there. And then I walk away.
I stare blankly
What
at him.
language do you say that in?
English, quietly.
Yeah, and I stare blankly at him.
All right, cool. Some random white guy just talks randomly to you and walks away. Okay.
Who looks awfully like that one paedophile.
Yep.
As he walks away, I'm going to try and catch up to him.
Okay. Make me a notice roll, Gentleman Jim. Oh wait, are you trying to conceal yourself as you catch up to him, or are you trying to get his attention?
No, I'm trying to get his attention.
Alright, Gentleman Jim, as you walk off, the man runs up to you.
Run, not really run, but
Well, he
increase my pace.
walks quickly to you.
Okay, I'll stop and stare expectantly.
In Korean, I'll say, "What did you say? What is it you needed to tell me?"
What?
Huan Gui, at this point, make me a notice roll. I will get this party together past the language barrier. Bloody hell, was that you, Bod?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. All right. As you kind of look around, looking to help people who seem to have troubles, you notice the white guy from earlier talking to another man, and they seem to be having a problem communicating.
I'll walk on over and I'll pull down my hood. And I'll be like, "Hello, gentlemen." In English, I'll be like, "Hello, gentlemen. What seems to be the issue here? Are you having troubles communicating?"
Out of character question, Bod, does your guy actually go do when he removes his hood? Is that in character?
There seems to be kind of a...
It's not in character. I
No,
not do
does
that.
not happen. There is no non-diegetic sound.
No, he
basically-
might actually be making that sound with his mouth, though.
Is he actually
Character does not make that noise.
He's making a weird noise with his mouth as he takes off his hood.
I needed to know.
Insane.
Very important bit of information.
No, there just seems to be sort of a weird, sort of strange aura about this man. Sort of he carries himself in a way that sort of seems oddly different, exceptional than others.
Inner peace. He has an aura of inner peace.
Yeah, anyway, how do you respond to that? Gentleman Jim, you understand. Dong Hyun, I mean, aside from the few English words you know from popular culture, well, by that I mean anti-American propaganda videos, you don't really understand what he's saying. Gentleman Jim, you do fully understand, however.
Fully understand what?
English.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
You
Okay.
understand
Sorry, I
English.
was
Being
losing.
from
So,
England, you understand English.
right. Yeah. So, Bod's character speaking in English. Right. Got you.
Yes.
Yes. This man's trying to tell me something. I have no idea what he's trying to tell me.
I'd like to say in Chinese to the other man, "Hello, do you speak Chinese?"
No Chinese. Korea.
Scratch my head.
Oh, please tell me you can speak Korean.
No.
Oh, God damn it!
It's one of the languages I don't speak.
Oh,
My response was in Chinese. I do have broken
Latin.
Chinese.
You can speak bloody Latin.
So-
you can't speak Korean.
So I'll try that first. I'll say to it
Would you
in
like
Latin.
to retroactively replace Latin with... Oh no,
Korean.
no, I can't do that now. Would you like to replace one of your other languages with Korean?
I suppose I'll get rid of...
I can speak broken Chinese.
All right, fine. You can speak broken Chinese to him.
Pigeon Chinese I speak.
Plus, the good news is that if you
I'll
spend
learn it.
you'll spend a week around him and you'll learn Korean.
I will. Yep, that's another language I've got under my belt then. Yep.
Okay, you speak to the man.
When did he learn to learn Latin?
I don't bloody know. When did you learn? When did a kind of a guy who's raised in
Master
a Chinese?
taught it to me.
Why?
Why was he
Master's a weird guy.
Why was he speaking Latin? No one speaks Latin. Lorem ipsum. That's what you may have just learned.
He had to learn Latin because you never know when you're going to need it. And because it's one of them languages
Yes, I know, I know.
Hang on. You want it justified, right? Because it's a language that is being forgotten, his master wanted to preserve it.
Ah, what's the
Okay.
name of your master / adoptive father, by the way?
Huang Fei.
Right. So Huan is the family name, not Guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Huan Fei. Right. All right. You speak in broken Chinese to the guy.
Well, no,
Yeah.
yes, he speaks actual fluent Chinese.
All right. You talk to each other in Chinese.
So I will, after I identify and he speaks Chinese, I'll say in German, in Japanese, Japanese, in Russian. Russian?
I will also respond sort of to Japanese, and again I'll say, no Japan, Korea.
I'd like to try Chinese Sign Language.
At which point I'm gonna slap his hands down. we speak Chinese. We speak Chinese.
I'll nod my head. Yeah, okay. Chinese. What is it you wish to say to this man?
He tried to get my attention. I don't know what he said.
I look to Jim. He did not. He apparently you wished for his attention.
Oh, right. He doesn't speak English. Oh, okay. Well, Jim looks around to see if anyone's watching, because we've possibly been drawing some attention to ourselves now.
Not with the Chinese Sign Language. That was quiet.
The slap wasn't.
Does anyone seem to be looking at us?
A
Anyone?
couple people kind of give you odd glances,
But no one taking a specific interest, sort of
they
thing.
only seem to take a specific interest. Not yet, anyway.
Okay, I'll start it in a low voice to Huan Gui. Yes, I was trying to warn him about. I've heard a rumor of gangs of Japanese people preying on immigrants with mechanical parts such as his leg. I was just trying to give him a warning to be careful. Is all.
So I'll say to the gentleman, I'll look to Huang. What's your first? I'll look to Dong, and I'll say, danger. Chinese gang, cybernetic, steal.
They want to steal cybernetic?
A Chinese gang is stealing cybernetics.
Oh, they're one gang who offer me help.
I shrug. I look to Jim. Would it be the gang that offered him help?
I don't know who they are, it's just something I heard. I'd be careful of everybody.
So I'll look to Dong and say, I'm unsure. I do not believe Jim knows either. It's just something he's overheard. It's though I can say I've met a few of these gentlemen around here, and they seem a bit.
Guy will want to help me have real thin eyes, and then at which point Dong Hyun pulls his eyes. It pulls, tries to make his eyes look squintier by pulling the edge of his face with each finger, trying to do a facial impression. Like this.
Oh, look at him funny.
Jim raises an eyebrow.
He does not know. He does not know who.
Okay. Alright, I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
I'll look to Jim. He says he'll be fine.
Well, that's his decision. I've given him his warning. There's not much more I can do. And then Jim will.
At this point, you notice Han Sung and his boys approaching.
God.
Upon noticing this, I'm gonna wave at him.
You're gonna wave at him?
Enthusiastically.
Okay.
Have I noticed them?
Give me a notice. Right. You glance at them out the corner of your eye, and before quickly kind of lowering your head, as sort of letting the hood cover your head again. You have time to do something before they approach.
I'd like to say, excuse me, please, gentleman Jim. Oh shit, I haven't learned his name. Excuse me, please, sir. And then I'll look.
As you're saying this, the group approaches. They do not see your face, Huan Gui, because you've got your head kind of bent over.
Okay.
Hey, you, bowler hat man, and you. The Korean, yes, the Korean who we hopefully will be seeing more of soon. We've seen a gentleman walking around, a white guy who thinks he's from a kung fu movie or something. You seen anyone like that?
I stare blankly at them.
Yeah, what language was that in?
Since Han Sung knows Korean, he speaks to one in Korean, and he speaks to Gentleman Jin in English. He asked the same question to both of you.
I haven't seen anyone who seems to be acting like some sort of martial artist, but there are a few white people on board. Yes, that's.
He's got some kind of weird robes on or something.
Jim just
Nobody
sniffs
like
and
that?
says no. No. Like that. Quite. No.
It's fine. We'll find him after he comes off the ferry. There's only one way out. They walk off.
I make sure that they've walked off before I start speaking to anyone.
Mm-hmm. They are away.
You get awful quiet.
Yeah, these are the unsavoury kind of which I met before.
Oh, they're the
That
people
was
who
in
want to help.
Chinese. Oh, I don't believe they do. Apparently, they lead people in pretending to help them, but then after such a thing, that's how they get you. They lead you in and then layeth down the smackdown.
Whatever the Chinese
What?
equivalent of that is.
Indeed.
What? I'm quite frankly confused by most of the words he just said.
Okay, sorry.
Chinese smackdown.
They lead you in. They mislead you. They bring you in pretending as if they can help you, but then that's how they trick you and then turn against you.
They trick. Ah.
Yes.
Okay.
Jim raises an eyebrow at this time towards Huan Gui. What language were you speaking?
All right.
That
They're
previous
speaking
exchange was
Chinese.
Chinese.
Yeah. From now on, I'm going to assume when they're talking to each other, it's Chinese, and when you two are talking, it's English.
Okay.
Yes. I'll say to Jim, that was Chinese, my friend.
Oh, quite. Yes, well, it seems you're in a bit of trouble, my boy.
I don't know. I'm sure I will be fine.
Stop coming up with reasons not to team up with him.
Well, let him try and convince me. All right. Just sit. Go on, Dad. One more. Go on.
Well, if you're sure.
You see, I am seeking a dojo in particular. I mean, if you could aid me in finding it after I've left this place, that would be most helpful.
Well, whereabouts is it?
Well, it is, the name of the dojo is...
I'll tell you what the name of the dojo is. It's Kimono Dojo.
Kimono Dojo.
In northern Tokyo.
In northern Tokyo.
Jim wants to work out whereabouts in relation to the place he's going is. So he's going to see his friend at the embassy.
Let's see. Basically, the consulate is in Shinjuku, which is in central Tokyo, and the dojo would be a little further to the north, in Mizuho.
Is it going to be sort of en route from where we're landing?
Yeah, pretty much. It would be sort of a straight line.
So what would we hit first? If we went in a straight line from where we landed, would we hit the embassy or the consulate, or the dojo first?
You would find the consulate first.
Okay.
The going to the dojo would require you to sort of leave metropolitan Tokyo and head into the country a bit.
Yay!
Well, I have an appointment
Just
in
the
city.
suburbs, mind you.
I have an appointment in the city first, but if you accompany there, I can accompany you to your dojo should you wish. I shouldn't be too long.
Yes, that would be fantastic. I must warn you, I don't have any means to pay you by other than my healing.
Well, how about you just owe me a favour at some point?
Sure, yes.
Well, sir, you have yourself a deal. Offers his hand.
I'll put my hand out and shake his hand. Do.
You watch the two white guys shake hands. They seem to have reached some kind of agreement.
In confusion, I'm just going to sort of put my hand out and sort of put it on top of the handshake.
I laugh. I say to...
Laugh at him, you dick!
No, he doesn't know what's going on, but he's just going along with it. So yeah, my guy gives a little laugh and then explains the situation to Dong.
He have a place to stay?
I look to Jim. Is the invitation offered over to our friend here as well?
Well, where does he want to go?
I asked Dunk. Where would you like to go?
Don't care, so long as safe.
He just wishes to be somewhere safe.
Jim sighs.
At this point, Don Hyun reaches into one of his pockets and holds out a bar of soap.
Interesting.
Jim looks to the bar of the soap, and then looks back to Huan Gui. Yeah, I can't guarantee how safe travelling with myself would be.
Dong starts smiling.
I look to Dong and I say, what is the soap for, friend?
I am offering as a token of gratitude.
I look to Jim. He's offering you the soap as a token of gratitude.
Well, I should think he needs it more than me. Tell him thank you very much. It's quite nice and flattered and all, but he can hold on to it.
Actually, I'm not sure of that, Dalrius. Do you have any soap?
No, Gentleman Jim's already immaculate. He always is immaculate. Doesn't do things such as get grubby.
Be immaculate.
How are you immaculate? You've been on a freighter for how long?
You've been smuggled all the way from England to like a dodgy freighter from China.
All these thoughts pass through Jim's head. On second thought, it'd be rude to go against custom here. Well, yes, I accept. But to warn him, it may be dangerous travelling with me. And Jim takes a soap.
I say to Dong, he accepts the soap very much, and don't worry. Should anything occur, we'll try to keep you safe. Is there anything in particular, though, that we should be looking out for?
I want to keep my leg.
Ah, yes, I see.
What did he say?
I'm not done yet. I'll say to Dong. Then would you? Then I am going to a dojo. Would you care to accompany me there?
I know gonna fight. I know fight.
Oh, fear not, my friend.
Science.
Fear not, friend. I will keep you safe. I can fight.
It is city though. City is safe.
Safe, full of cyberware stealing gangsters.
Oh, they're only in shitty parts.
Now, Zinc.
What?
Don't go into never mind, South Park territory.
Oh, I didn't intend to.
Oh, good.
So.
Besides, you're Korean.
now you mention it.
You're Korean. But you are speaking in Chinese, so it's weird.
But you say you want us to help defend you, then why don't you just not go to the parts that get...
But I have no place to go, no... He goes into two of his pockets that were empty and just outturns them. Poor.
Then I put my hand on his shoulder and say, then I guess you are coming with us then. I say to Jim, he's coming with us.
I'll mark down.
Jim says,
I'll mark down that I don't have a bar of soap anymore.
Mark down that I do.
Yeah. Taking soap from poor immigrants. The British aristocracy. Bloody hell.
Amazing.
Okay, so are you guys just going to kind of socialise for the rest of the trip, or do you have any other business you want to take care of?
Jim wants to go and have a right good wash. A bloody good wash.
Do you want to have a wash? Unfortunately, there isn't really anywhere for you to go. I mean, you could...
Okay, I'm glad you didn't say there's no water, because we're in a fucking boat.
You could jump off the freighter into the ocean.
There's got to be a sink. There's got to be a sink or something knocking about.
A sink. All right. There is a rather dingy looking washroom that's provided to the passengers.
That'll
He
do.
washes his testicles in here.
Yeah, the gentleman's wash. Face pits and balls.
Face bits and balls.
In that order. Gentleman's wash.
You wash your face pits and balls. They now smell immaculate. Right.
But no one's else faces pits and balls smell immaculate.
Check.
For what? An agility
See if you
check
get
for
any water
what?
spilled over yourself.
Does it look like you've pissed yourself?
It's my agility, hang on. Right, agility 8, not bad, that'll do.
Right, okay, excellent. Okay. Right, yep, you managed to avoid getting water down your pants.
Cool.
You look okay.
Jolly good. Gentleman's wash. Cracking.
Alright, anything else either of you want to do for the rest of the ferry ride?
Just sort of hang about with Huan Gui and see what he knows.
I'd like, yeah. What do you want to know?
Tell me a bit about yourself. What you doing?
Good sir, I'm travelling to a dojo in which my seafood told me I should go and seek for a person that is worthy of receiving his teachings.
Mm-hmm. Quite.
Yes.
Quite.
Gentleman Jim has no opinion on this.
None whatsoever.
See.
So I'll ask Jim, what is it you are doing here, Jim? I noticed the news report and it showed you in quite a bad light.
Yeah, here we go. Now we address the elephant in the room.
Well, I didn't want to say
I
anything.
don't want to be impolite, but...
What's the guy called again that's done me over? Barnstable? Yeah, I remember.
Yes, Barnstable.
That bloody snake in the grass, Barnstable. I found out things about him. I found out terrible things about him. I was about to go public. He's seedy little. Oh, he makes me so angry. The reports you're seeing about me, they were what I found out about him. He's got power everywhere. I don't understand how he does it. He controls the media. He controls everything. That's why I couldn't attend. That was what the meeting was about. I was supposed to attend before I had to leave. My life was under threat. He's ruined me.
And what is your goal in Japan?
How do I know I can trust you?
I'm just a simple martial artist. As I say, I am seeking a student. I am not. That is all.
Well, I'm just going to see a friend.
Yes, I see.
I've already told him you're going to the consulate.
Did? He doesn't know why.
There you go.
I didn't ask what his goal was, though.
No, it's true.
Oh,
Right.
I'll look over to Dong. Okay, sorry.
Go on, we're going to say.
We'll look over to Dong and ask him if he understood the news report.
There would have been subtitles.
Man, children.
I nod and I explain that he's claiming that it wasn't him, and that this is information that he found on another person.
That is where always top politicians. They always that way. It never them. It always someone else.
Brick, would I have a chance to have picked up any leads I had before I had to flee? Like
any leads?
Any USB drives or anything
Well, like,
on? Any documents?
HDMI.
Anything at all?
The only lead you have is a copy of an email from a anonymous source, basically referring to him basically to advance the cause. You know the way you must vote. You will find it financially agreeable, of course, to do so, as per our arrangements. And there's also details of how to find his secret payment.
Groovy.
But it's vague, almost deliberately so.
Yeah.
But there is details on how to basically access the Swiss bank account that the money's in.
Cool.
And that's your only lead, unfortunately.
That'll do. I just need
Basically,
to know what
all the rest of the time you've been basically buggering off. But yes, you've got a copy of the email. Let's say you've got it on your smartphone.
Cool.
Are you gonna show them that, or
I don't know. Well, I've not managed to gauge Huan Gui's response, and I've no idea what the little Korean guy said.
Okay, you want to? Shall we just say you translate the what Dong said?
Yeah, sure. I translated what Dong said.
Okay, there you go.
Yes, well, I question it as well. The only lead I have is this. And just quietly sort of shows it to Huan Gui.
This is his only lead, I say to Dong.
This English.
Do you translate basically the contents?
Yeah, I'll
Okay,
translate
alright.
the contents as well.
All right.
After sighing at him.
Ugh, you don't understand English or Latin. Or even sign language.
Yeah, I know, right?
Ugh.
I might understand Latin after being at Cambridge. I might have a fundamental knowledge of it.
You know a bit, a little bit.
Yeah.
But mostly
You don't know
were
I know it yet.
skiving off, having some cigarettes around the bike sheds. I don't know.
No, he was a good guy.
Well,
He was well good at school.
Not for Latin.
Oh, all right,
Especially
fine.
not
you were,
for
you
Latin.
were too busy skiving off with Cambridge's version of the Bullingdon Club or whatever.
I can believe that.
I thought that one was Cambridge.
Oh, maybe it was. Oh no, I think it was Oxford.
Oh no, they're like the same thing, right?
No, they're different.
Yeah, they're like the same place.
Anywho.
Oh well.
I mean,
So-
they're not. Neither of them as bad as Kent, but whatever.
So I show it Dong, translate it,
Oh. Oh.
and then I'll pass it to Jim so he doesn't think I'm trying to steal it.
Goes back into his
They-
waistcoat pocket.
He very smart. He very smart. He cunning, like fox.
I'll tell Jim that he got called cunning like a fox.
Not Jim, the
Oh,
other guy.
Sorry.
Right? Jim's
Well,
replied
I'll
already.
still
Jim
tell
said thank
Jim.
you. Jim
I'll still
appreciated
tell
it.
Jim that because that's the impression that I got. So Jim's cunning like a fox, lost in translation.
Jim nods and smiles and then says, "Why? Thank you very much," in English to the little Korean guy.
He thanks you.
Say, does other white man? How are you gonna talk in Japan? I know little bit Chinese, little bit Japanese. So I get by. How do we?
I asked Jim, how is it you're going to get by in Japan not speaking the language?
In his best attempt at an accent, which is
Speaks enough to get
terrible.
by.
Which is terrible.
Yeah, my guy doesn't know that.
Jim says, well, I speak a Japanese.
Oh God, so racist.
So I'll say to Dong, he does speak some Japanese. Hey, wait a minute.
Oh! At which point, Dong shifts to Japanese,
Yep.
which is, still patchy, but... hi. Nice to meet you.
Ah, yes, you do spoke Japanese then.
I am Dong Hyun.
Jim, I am.
Pleasure. And he offers hand.
And
So
Jim shakes
from
it.
now on, you're all going to speak either in Japanese to each other, I'd imagine, or if Huan Gui wants to have a more complicated conversation with Jim, I'd imagine he'd talk in English. I'm just going to assume that from now on to prevent any...
Eventually, I hope I'm going to start picking up some more Japanese so I can actually speak in, not...
I will also learn...
Within a week, Juan will be able to speak fluent Korean, so you'll both be able to speak...
if I'm speaking Korean in front of them, which...
Yeah, I'll just ask you to at some point.
And plus, you can... I could just say you can auto-translate anything anyway, so that's fine. Okay, right. Right. Anything else you lads want to do before the end of your ferry ride?
I'd like to check up on the woman. I don't want to go and speak to her, but I'd just like to observe her from a distance, see if she's okay.
All right. You notice that the Han Sung and his thugs, they seem to be talking to her. Ah, yes, a very beautiful woman you are. It does seem unfortunate that you seem to have a little bump there. Don't worry, I mean, we can find a place for you where your beauty can be fully expressed and you can support your child. You'll be safe. She just sort of looks at them with disdain. I have had those kind of promises before, and I will not listen to them again. Please, leave me alone. Listen, lady, here is my card. Perhaps if you change your mind, you can come find us, yes? She just kind of cuddles her child, and they sort of walk away, looking presumably for the next mark.
Okay. How close by are they? Can I wait until they've buggered off?
Yeah, they've buggered off.
Okay, I'd like to go up to her and say, are you okay?
You again. What do you want?
I am merely asking if you are okay, and then I will leave.
I'm as okay as you would expect given the circumstances. Not very.
Are you sure you will not take my assistance?
How do I know you are not just like those men? All the men before.
Well, I guess you don't. But I can't be any worse than them, surely.
I'm sorry, that is not good enough. You may be insincere, but I have no way to know for sure. I have a couple friends in Japan. Hopefully I will be okay.
I'll give a little bow and say, I wish you luck, and then walk off.
She just sort of, before you go, says, good luck to you as well.
I'll lift my hand in a wave.
All right. Anything else you three want to do? Or are you good? Zinc good? Gentleman Jim good?
Yeah, Jim's good.
Huan Gui good?
I'm all good.
Right, excellent. Okay, are you here, Zinc? Or did you go AFK?
Yeah, I'm here.
Right, excellent. Okay. You are coming into Tokyo Bay. Shut up, Zinc. Right. I presume that, you'd like to go up on deck to see it. Basically, you see... Hang on a minute, I can actually get a picture of him, perhaps.
Oh, badass.
Fucking bastard connection. Well, I can't... Oh, here's a nice picture. I will... my connection is being a bitch. Right. Never mind. Right, I'll just describe it to you. You see countless spiring buildings. You see countless skyscrapers. You see automated drones in the distance swarming around the city like little bees. You see flying cars as well, joining this sort of teeming mass of life as you watch the city from afar get closer and closer. There are sort of these towering metal arms sort of as you approach the dock, just unloading cargo as you approach the quay. Once the ferry has docked, you sort of also notice on the horizon to the east buildings that are equally tall, but sort of seem to have a sort of a grayer hue, sort of a more ugly box-like shape. That is the region that sprung up more recently, the region that's referred to as Neo-Tokyo. Since the recent influx of immigrants that Tokyo was forced to take on after Japan relaxed its immigration laws, Neo-Tokyo has sort of sprung up almost overnight, almost a completely new city made up mostly of immigrants. Unfortunately, because it's sort of grown so rapidly, crime has been a problem there as well. And the architecture isn't quite as pretty because sort of many areas have sort of fallen into disrepair where police and public services aren't so eager to go. Anyway, you approach the dock and a gangway is put down. I presume you want to walk off at the gangway onto the dock.
I would like to try and keep my head down while doing so.
All right. Basically, at this point, the three of you are approached by a tough-looking man. Here, come with me. Basically, this is one of the captain's men. He approaches all three of you. I'll take you this way. This will get you past immigration. This is what you paid for.
Yeah. I will motion the others to follow.
I will nod and keep my head down and keep going.
The three of you
With them.
are led through a warehouse. Appear to be a bunch of rough-looking guys there. They just kind of nod at you as you walk past. And you exit the warehouse. You are moved through a few more alleyways before you come to a wide open courtyard area where it seems all the new immigrants are greeted. Here, there's just lots of advertisements. There's lots of recruitment stations for jobs. There's lots of sort of civil servants walking around, looking to get sort of immigrants more accustomed, more accumulated. There's lots of taxis. And another thing you notice is, right, gentlemen, what are your sexual orientations?
My guy's a lesbian.
Shut up! You're not a lesbian!
Don't you oppress him! Don't you oppress him!
Fine. Huan Gui is a lesbian trapped in a man's body. Oh no! And the other two, I assume you're heterosexual, right?
No, I want to be a
Asexual.
lesbian too.
I'm an asexual werewolf trapped within a human's body.
Oh, fuck off, Zinc!
Trigger warning! Whoa! Don't say that word.
I'll say as much as I bloody well want.
Yeah, no. Het.
Right, so you're all straight, right? At this
I'm a
point,
lesbian.
You like girls. That's the important part.
right, the three of you are approached by three extraordinarily beautiful women. They sort of have sort of tops that are sort of cut strategically to sort of a boob window, a cleavage window. They're sort of drawn to catch the eye. All of them seem to be holding up these sort of bottles of mineral water. And so they seem to be sort of holding them quite close to their chest, so as to draw attention to them, make you sort of link the two things in your mind. One of them approaches you, Huan Gui, says, "Hello there, Huan Gui. I hear you are interested in social justice issues and urban poverty. Did you know that Suntory's parent company, Bernetti Tech, funds the Urban Development Fund to help impoverished inner city areas? Every bottle of Suntory water you purchase goes towards helping these poor people. Are you interested in buying some Suntory water?"
No, thank you. No, thank you. I already have some water. Thank you.
Are you sure, Huan Gui?
Yes, very short. Thank you.
If you would like to know more about Suntory water, please go online. And she starts sort of rattling off web lists you can go to, that kind of thing.
Cool.
At this point, Dong, you're approached.
Mm-hmm.
Hello there. Sort of, it seems that Dong, is your what databases would your citizenry be listed in? Probably just the North Korean one.
Probably
right?
just the North Korean one, yeah.
I see. Hello there. Good day. Are you interested in some water?
No.
You look like you need some refreshment. I've noticed your perspiration is extremely high.
Dong checks his brow. Wait, what language is this? Japanese, of course. Japan. Checks his brow. I'm fine, thanks.
Okay. At this point, Gentleman Jim, one of the women, in perfect English, talks to you. Hello, Jim Cauldwell. I see you are... She sort of stutters for a moment. Kind of, she's sort of standing there perfectly still, almost as if she's sort of thinking of something. I see you are interested in hunting and shooting. Did you know that Suntory water contains electrolytes which increase perception and concentration? She looks at you expectantly.
Jim grins at Huan Gui. I've never seen anything like this before. It's a technological marvel. This is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant.
Yes, Bernetti Tech is the leading innovator in scientific fields. That is why we produce the best mineral water. Would you like to know more, Jim Cauldwell?
Okay, Jim's grinning.
Make,
go on, sorry, Britt, go ahead.
All of you make notice rolls at this point. Okay. What about you, Zinc?
Give me a sec.
Do you even have notice? Fucking hell, yes you do. Okay.
There we go. I failed.
Right. Huan Gui. You notice there's just something not quite right about the way these women move and talk, obviously. When you sort of squint at them for a moment, it's almost as if you can kind of see the pavement behind them. Dong. You're pretty certain these are holograms. And looking around for a moment, you can actually see sort of placed on these sort of big beams, these projectors, sort of flashing these sort of neon lights, creating all these holograms below. And you also notice what you'd imagine would be a long-range retinal scanner.
Okay.
To try and to basically identify people so they can sort of target the advertisements at them.
It's at this point when that I am going to go into my coat, pull out my scooter, unfold it, and I'm just gonna scoot on through the hologram in front of me.
All right, she's sort of like, it's strange. She kind of sort of her whole body sort of fizzles for a moment, but she just seems completely unfazed by the fact you've gone through her. Please don't go through me. It isn't very polite.
Come on, let's go.
Yes, let's head towards the taxis.
Please don't go without buying some Suntory water.
We can't buy that.
Gentleman Jim sort of sidesteps the hologram and walks towards the taxi.
They keep trying to point you towards a row of vending machines, but yeah, they sort of give you sort of puppy dog eyes.
I shrug, walk past, and say to Jim, "How do we buy a hologram water? How do we drink it?"
The water isn't holographic, sir. The water is provided by these vending machines and others around the city.
I pretend like I didn't hear it and keep walking.
Come back next time for some Suntory water. All right, you head towards the taxis. You see rows of dour-faced men in taxis. Very sort of very ugly, black, box-like Japanese taxis. As you'd expect.
I'm very glad you're describing the taxis there.
Jim takes a look up and down.
I've been in some Japanese taxis before. The boots are always way too bloody small.
So Jim looks up and down the row, and he looks for the nicest looking taxi.
They're all black. They're all box-like. They all look crap.
Are there any less filthy than others?
They're all clean.
They're all
just
clean.
Kind of
crap,
bland and boring looking.
Closest one to him then. Well, okay. He also wants a quick gander at the driver and see which one looks the most polite, the most well dressed, the most well kept.
They're all extremely polite, well dressed, and well kept.
Jolly good then. Closest one to me then.
Hey, yata, yes. Doko wa? You just basically, you understand that basically he's asking where you want to go.
Okay, Jim in Japanese. What much to consulate?
The consulate, that would be actually all that, all the dollars you've got, guys.
Yeah.
No.
That is
Credits.
those are now credits.
Okay.
Right. Let's see. So let me actually work that out. For a meal, it's how much in Cyberpunk's currency? All right. 5 credits to the consulate, sir.
Jim agrees.
Excellent, sir. Please, any luggage?
I take off my backpack.
The taxi driver just practically grabs it out of your hands and he sort of stuffs it in the boot. It doesn't quite fit because it's quite bulky, so he kind of pushes it down and sort of ties it shut.
Careful.
I'm being very careful, sir.
Dong Hyun folds his scooter up and puts it back on the inside of his coat.
Okay, right. The taxi driver just looks at you oddly, and they get in the and he gets in the cab,
Mm-hmm.
and they drive you off to Shinjuku. Right. You need to.
God, that's some weird shit in my coat.
Damn it, my freaking disconnecting again. It's fun being a DM in Roll D20 when your internet's constantly crashing.
Dear.
Oh, that's good then.
Hopefully it'll be fixed by next week.
Fingers crossed.
There we go. Do you all see beautiful cityscape?
We do.
Fair
Yes.
use, fair use. There we go.
Cite original source, maybe?
We'll cite the original source at a later date, and whoever did it will encourage everyone to buy their artwork if they have any for sale. Anyway, yes, you are amazed, I would imagine, just at the sheer colour and beauty of downtown Shinjuku. It's just a miasma of neon colours and towering skyscrapers and just lots and lots of people just sort of packing the streets.
I'm frankly just shocked by the number of different haircuts.
Yeah, that too. I mean, there are most of the people you'll see here are sort of suited salarymen and sort of business office ladies with their sort of power skirts and heels, striding around confidently.
Do they have shoulder pads?
Yeah, some of them have shoulder pads.
Okay.
And they're power suits and everything else. The taxi stops in front of the British consulate, and taxi driver holds out his hands for the credit. Well, basically, he passes you a kind of a scanner for your credit shit, as it were.
Mm-hmm. I will give him 7 credits.
He notices that you've tipped him. He sort of nods. Thank you, sir. He puts the scanner away. Remove 7 credits from your inventory.
Okay, done.
Okay, right. Right, the British consulate is before you. It's not a particularly tall building, and it seems like there are probably. It seems like this building's probably got plenty of other consulates and offices on it as well.
Hey, Break, what was my friend called again?
Your friend? Well, that's a question. Rufus Wainwright.
That's the bunny.
You want to walk into the lobby?
Yeah, I just approached like what? Well, do they have sort of a reception area?
A what?
Like a reception area?
So, yeah, there's a reception area.
Does it look like there's any scanners on the doorway of any sort?
Scanners on the doorway.
Like anything that
Make
go
me a
Wii U,
notice.
Wii U,
Make me
Wii
a
U?
notice roll.
So it's a 5.
Okay. You don't see anything that looks like a scanner on the doorway, no.
Do I see anything scanner-like as I glance around the room? Not entered yet. I'm just sort of stood weighing up whether there's anything going to go Wii U.
You notice just past the reception desk, there does look to be sort of a bay of sort of doorways that look like they're probably sort of scanners or metal detectors or something like that.
But I can reach the
This
reception
is
desk
after all
without
like
passing through it.
Yep, you can reach the reception desk.
We'll do that then. Just head to the reception desk.
A sort of a mousy Japanese lady sort of nods. She looks at you and speaks in English, assuming it's your native tongue, or at least a language you speak. Hello, can I help you?
Ah, yes, hello there. I am here to see Rufus Wainwright. I have an appointment. He's expecting me.
Ah, yes, in the British consulate.
Indeed.
And who are you?
Just let him know it's his old friend, James. Gentleman Jim, we used to call me. Tell him Gentleman Jim's here to see him.
All right. She sort of looks a bit strangely at you. Why are you not telling me your full name?
Well, you didn't ask for it. You just wanted to see who it is, Gentleman Jim. Tell him now. It'll be a ride to Carrefour.
She just
Jim
looks
smiling
strangely and then just shrugs and then types something on a computer incredibly rapidly. She looks at it. Oh, okay. It says that he'll be down in a moment.
Well, thank you very much. I'll go wait over by. Is there some a chaired area?
Yeah, there's a place to wait.
I'll go sit in the place to wait.
I'm sorry, did we follow him in there?
I assume
did
so,
you?
unless you're
Yes.
unless you're standing outside.
No, I'll follow him.
I got the impression I was like looking around at the building. Ooh.
Well, whatever you want to do, you are doing. There is nothing stopping you. Okay. You wait about 5 minutes, and it's your old friend Rufus Wainwright walks through the scanners. He's got a sort of a very nice tailored blue suit. He's got sort of sandy blonde hair, and he's quite a handsome sort of square-jawed all British boy. You went to Cambridge with him, right?
Indeed.
Right. Yes. He's your old schoolyard chum. He walks up to you. Haha, yes, don't worry, I've got this all sorted. No worries. Jim, come this way. He sort of taps you on the shoulder.
Oh, old strange shite. How are you, boy?
Shut up, Jim. Jesus Christ almighty, Jim. What the bloody hell do you think you're doing here?
Well,
He's sort of whispering to you as he's sort of leading you out of the building.
Jim's grinning manically, sensing that he doesn't want him here. Well, you know, you owed me that favour from back in the day. I think I might have to call it in, my friend.
Favour? Look, Just because I threw some bricks through that restaurant when I was drunk, I don't quite think it matches up to pedophilia and international terrorism, old boy. Pardon me, but that seems a case of false equivalency to me.
Yeah, it's not funny when you didn't do it, old boy. Now, let's go somewhere private. I need to show you something. In Japanese, you boys wait there. Not long.
All right. Basically, Gentleman Jim tells you to wait in front of the building.
Shrug. Okay.
Yeah. What's the weather like?
Weather, fairly sunny, slightly overcast. No, it's quite a nice day. It's quite warm and muggy, as it often is in Japan. Yeah, basically.
Are we in the shade?
No, you're not in the shade. No.
In which case, I will reach into the left side of my coat and pull out my umbrella.
All right. Yeah, you're not the only person with umbrellas for the sun. There's lots of Japanese ladies with umbrellas.
Is there a nearby bench?
Yeah, there's a bench nearby.
I'll sit on the bench with my umbrella.
All right.
Suppose I'll go with him.
All right. Huan Gui gets a couple of odd looks. Seeing a gaijin in those kind of clothes is a bit odd. Also seeing a really shabbily dressed person, like in the in this sort of business section of Shinjuku, it's also a little bit weird as well. But yeah, you are unmolested for the time being.
I'd like to smile and nod at the people looking at me funny.
They just sort of... A couple of people look like they're whispering and pointing at you, but then they move on. Most people just ignore you, stony-faced. Right. Anyway, Rufus leads you to his car. Gentleman Jim.
Okay.
And he presses a button that immediately tints the windows. The whole time he's been kind of sort of pushing your head down a bit, sort of to make sure no cameras or anything can see you.
Jolly good.
Jim, right. I've known you quite some time, old boy, so I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and allow you to explain yourself to me.
Barnstable.
Barnstable.
He set me up.
I know.
He set me up, old boy. Oh, yes. Now, what happened was...
How did he set you up?
Oh, I'm about to tell you, boy. Don't interrupt.
Sorry.
Okay. No, perfectly fine under the circumstance. Well, what happened, old boy, is all these allegations that have been coming out against me are actually the allegations I found out against Barnstable. Now, you heard on the news about the meeting that was planned. I was going to break that news at that meeting. I don't understand how he can control the media, though. I've not got much of a lead, but this is where I hope you can help me. I'm not going to ask you for any more, old boy. You've been a good friend, and I don't want to get you in too deep. But have a look at this. And passes Rufus the email. Is there any way you can use your connections to find out who this money went to? And then that's at least a start for me. I need to clear my name, old boy.
Right. Let me have a look. He looks through it. Do you realize, Jim, if I'm caught helping you, my life will be ruined beyond measure?
My friend, you're not helping me.
You've been implicated in international terrorism and worldwide pedophile rings, right?
My friend, You wouldn't be helping me. Once I get the information from you, you keep the email. And if anyone comes asking questions, you're just doing your job.
Look, Jim, I'm already being asked a few pointed questions for my past association with you. I didn't think you'd turn right up on my bloody doorstep like this. If you would have gone into the bloody embassy building, I can't even think of what would have happened. Oh, I hope you're not already on a security camera or something. Oh, Jesus.
Don't worry, my friend.
Right.
I'm going to disappear soon.
Right, listen to me. We can't meet up like this directly again. If you want to meet me, look, I have a certain person here I know for these matters that require some discretion. If you want to contact me again, it'll go through him. You understand?
Of course.
Right. The gentleman is a name of Barry Haynes. Got that?
Barry Haynes, yes. Where would I find Barry
Yes.
should I need to?
He is in the eastern section of Tokyo, or Neo-Tokyo, as it's come to be known. He is in the... hang on a minute, let me think. He is in the Bradbury ward of Neo-Tokyo. Here, I'll give you a more exacting address of his place of business. He basically taps the address into your smartphone. Okay, alright. Listen to me. Barry Haynes. He knows some people. He has ways of solving problems like you have. However, old boy, I wouldn't expect him to help you for free. So, if you go to him, understand he might ask you for a favour in exchange for him doing you a favour.
I want to attempt a persuasion roll. And old Rufus here.
You can't attempt an persuasion roll. You say what you want to persuade him to do.
Okay. Look, old chap, I know I'm asking a lot of you, but we have been friends for a hell of a long time, and I wouldn't be asking if I didn't need to. The only thing I need from you is to tell me who this account belongs to. You can do that at the consulate. You find the information, you keep the email, and you look like an absolute hero if someone finds out. You just say you've been tracking down this anonymous email just to either prove or disprove it, depending on your political disposition at the time. And then, my friend, I would owe you a favour.
Oh, bloody hell. You already owe me a favour for talking you and pointing in the direction of perhaps the one place in Tokyo where you might be a semblance of safe.
Ah, not at all. That's only half a favour, my friend. Remember the time when I had to fish you out the Thames?
Yes, I remember that. Well, I realised then that perhaps those rumours of mutant sea bass perhaps weren't as poppycock as I expected. In any event. Alright, make me a persuasion roll.
Pluses, minuses, or just as is?
+1, as you're appealing to your past. Right, listen. I am a diplomat. I'm not a hacker. I would imagine wherever this email's come from, it's been bounced about around 100-odd different proxies. It's probably been scrambled more times than the eggs your mother used to make.
GM question, just I'm a bit confused. I thought there was instructions on how to access the account.
Oh, you mean the bank account?
Yes.
Right.
That's what I'm after him doing, just accessing the bank account to find out who it is. I just want
not,
a name.
Not the email account. The
Not tracking the
person
email
sent it.
account, no.
Right. Well, explain that to him then.
Oh, no, my friend. No, you've got the wrong end of the stick entirely. I'm not going to ask you to do that. I've taken a note of the email address itself anyway. In fact, could you do me a copy of that email as well? That's the half favour paid for. Anyway, the point I was asking is something far more simple. All I need is, you see this code at the bottom, points to it. See how it gives us instructions on how to access the account. Well, all I'm after, my friend, is you to access that and tell me any information like the account holder, when the last transaction was, things like that. Just basically print me a statement, old boy.
Look, if I get caught trying to access some illicit Swiss bank account...
And that's why you show them the email and saying you're trying to track down the scum who's doing this, who's trying to con your city out of its tax credits. You'll be held a hero, boy.
Look, listen. Whoever has that account, most likely they want to keep it a secret, and they are aware that you have the email with details how to access it. You understand that, right? So if I try and access it, they might find a way to backtrace me.
Yes, but this is just an email you found. You had it handed to you anonymously. That way, they can't track me down to you, or they have a very shaky ground to do so.
They know I know you, Jim. Look, I won't try and access the account itself. It's too dangerous, but I'll look into it in as roundabout a way as I can. My arse is on the line here, Jim. You have to understand it. I'll do what I can, but I'm not going to put myself at too much risk. That won't help either of us. Listen, Barry knows how to dig up these sort of skeletons buried in dirty closets. You understand? Go to Barry. If you do a favour for him, I'm sure he can help you find out the details on this bank account, where this email's come from, and at least get you started. All I can just tell him I know you, and he'll help you. All right? And I'll look into it however I can.
Jim sighs. Okay, do your best, old chum.
All right. I'm going to drive a little ways down the block. I'm going to drop you off, and I'm going to take a circular way round back to the consulate. All right? I don't want to be seen with you again, all right?
Two of my associates are in there.
Any messages for me, they go through Barry, understood?
Understood, old friend. Two of my associates are in there. You won't be able to miss them. Just point them my way. Scruffy-looking little man, and, well, the other man stands out. Trust me, you'll see him. Just point them in my direction.
Right. Is there anything else, Jim? Because I can't be seen with you again.
No, you've done well. Thank you very much, my friend. You've helped out.
All right. Jim, I'm sorry this has happened to you. I just want you to know, mate. Best of British luck to you.
Jim nods.
He gives you a weird kind of Cambridge handshake.
Yeah, totally.
At this point, he drives around the block a bit. He drops you off. And he drives off again. I assume you make your way back to the others?
Well, I don't think... I was hoping that he was going to tell the others where I was, because he doesn't really want me at the consulate.
He basically just drops you off around the corner.
All right. All right, I'll
You can find your way back easily enough.
I'll try and get their attention without getting too close to it this time.
All right. Gentleman Jim is waving at you guys.
I'll wave back.
I sort of look his way.
I'll wave.
Do you talk to them?
Gestures him over.
Just for us to come over. Okay, I'll get up and walk over. Let us go, Dong. It appears that he is after our attention.
You need to talk more simple. Sorry, you need to talk more simple.
I shrug and say, "Follow me."
He unfolds his scooters, pushes himself slowly towards someone in the gym.
I want a scooter.
Where's this place where Barry is in relation to like the map where we are?
Basically, the dojo is a little west of metropolitan Tokyo. Neo Tokyo is to the east of Tokyo, the main Tokyo, as it were.
Totally the opposite direction to the dojo.
Yep.
So, where we go now?
I say, were we not to go to the dojo after visiting the consulate?
Jim sort of fights with himself, then nods and agrees. Yes, that's right. Let's find us a cab.
Alright, yeah, not too hard to find a taxi rank in Shinjuku. You find another taxi rank.
Okay, and then nods to Huan Gui. Go on, find us a taxi on me.
Thank you, Jim. As I have said, I cannot afford any taxi.
I do not believe in material possessions.
Inner peace. No, I'll go up
Certainly
to the
take
taxi.
advantage of others, though, eh?
I go up to a taxi and I say, hello, sir, in Japanese. Would you be so kind as to take me to, can you remind me one more time the name of the dojo?
Kimono Dojo. Oh, don't put my alter ego in here.
Kimono Dojo. Would you be so kind as to take us to Kimono Dojo?
He taps in his GPS computer, nods. 5 credits, please.
I point to Gentleman Jim.
Jim nods, agrees.
All right. He
Have I got my
ushers you in.
backpack still?
Yeah. No,
Good.
don't worry. The taxi driver didn't steal your backpack.
God, I wouldn't have been happy.
Okay, right. You all get in the taxi, and yes, you drive off to the outskirts of Tokyo, to the more suburban area. It's a bit more green. It's a bit more flowery.
But it's not
Can I say-
dust.
A lot more kind of old style Japanese buildings this way. Sort of old fashioned wooden buildings.
On the way, Jim is keeping an eye out for anywhere that looks like would sell what they called contact lenses.
Opticians.
Not necessarily an optician. He's not after specific, contact lenses. It's like novelty contact lenses.
Novelty contact lenses.
Oh yes.
You want to look out the window and find a place that sells novelty contact lenses.
You never know.
I get
It's Japan. It's Japan.
Like the
Cauldwell.
purple eyes or
Lenses on
something.
sale here.
You know, ones that have purple eyes and stuff.
Just like
Yeah,
a great
yeah.
big sign.
Or just different
Actually,
colours. Your beautician might have them just for different colours, different eye colours. Beauticians
Or
stock
like
them.
cat eyes.
You'd almost
Yeah.
certainly find that in Akibahara.
There'll be something somewhere.
Akihabara, yeah. Yeah, which is the opposite way you're going as well.
Out of character knowledge, you will probably be swinging at least through the centre if we're going from west to east, which we'll probably be doing. Akibahara is pretty much dead centre.
Well, if you want to take a quick detour,
We can do it on the way
Akihabara,
back.
or-
I'm not specifically going to take a detour. I'm just keeping my eye out on the taxi for anywhere that looks like it might sell them.
Right. Okay. Make me a notice roll. I mean, yeah. I mean, in Shinjuku there are, stores that might sell something like that.
Nah, I'll leave it. It's not massively important yet.
No, nothing. No, you don't see any places that you would imagine would sell coloured contact lenses as such. Anyway, yes, you arrive at a very beautiful looking dojo. It's got a nice sort of torii, sort of a
David
red
Cameron.
Japanese archway, kind of sort of leading down this sort of stony garden path to this sort of old wooden building. And you hear from inside, sort of the sounds of young men and women sparring.
Cool.
And there are sort of various people in their gis and their belts, just kind of walking around the grounds.
Have we been dropped off?
Yeah, you've been dropped off.
Cool.
What else?
I
other than
smash-
the
Oh
dojo?
yeah, and also the taxi driver removes 5 credits from your unless you try and run. He removes 5 credits from your.
Look, what's that
You can
over
have
there?
some credit.
Huh?
Meanwhile, Gentleman Jim pays me giving him 6 credits, and it took a while. I wasn't as impressed with this one.
He looks thankful, but like about half as thankful as the other guy.
I get out and get out my umbrella, and I erect it.
Oh, I see.
I get out, get my backpack, put it on, and take a deep breath and go, this is a nice place. I say that in Japanese, I guess.
Okay.
And Jim gets out, looks around, and sees if there's any sort of shops, markets, anything like that.
Shops, market.
Markets, shops, somewhere that might sell coloured contact lenses or clothing.
Not
Not here.
really. This is kind
Clothing?
of like sort of a suburban area. It's mostly residential. You don't really see anywhere in the immediate vicinity that you think would sell coloured contact lenses. I mean, if you wanted to sort of search around a bit, maybe, but not in the immediate vicinity, no.
Okay, I will then say to one guy, yes, I'll take a look around. I'll meet you back here shortly. Let me have a little. I'm going to spend a little while looking around such a beautiful place.
In
Give me 30 minutes.
no,
No,
sorry, what language is that in Japanese?
that was English.
I'd imagine that's in English.
Okay, so I'll say, as you wish. I'll look to Dong and say, would you care to come inside with me?
Sure.
Okay. I walk up and I start to walk up, and yeah, it's amazing. My guy's looking impressed.
Have you actually met the head of this dojo before?
No.
You haven't. Okay, right. Okay. You sort of you walk inside the dojo.
As we approach the door, I inform one guy that I will be standing outside to wait.
I'll nod and say, as you wish. And then go in.
All right, in you go, you bastard. All right, you go inside. Yeah, you see plenty of students practicing martial arts. Mainly, would this be what kind of martial art would this dojo be?
Guess
Master
samurai.
Samurai dojo.
Yes.
So kendo.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Will they be honourable?
Well, all right then. Okay, in that case, you don't see people in these. You see people kind of with face masks and wooden swords.
Okay.
They're sort of like, yeah, they're sort of smacking each other, you know, sort of their wooden swords. Hey, hey. And do kote, do kote, do kote. You just hear those kind of words being repeatedly yelled out as they smack each other with their wooden swords.
Okay.
Well, if it's sort of a more general dojo, I mean, maybe they don't just teach kendo. Maybe they teach a bit of old-fashioned jiu-jitsu as well. Perhaps, I don't know. We'll find out soon. A man takes off his face guard. He sort of looks to be in his late 50s, quite wrinkled face. He's completely bald, except for a sort of a wispy beard. He sort of has sort of quite kind features, and he has quite a sort of broad smile. And he approaches you, and he speaks to you in English. Excuse me. What is your business here?
I'd like to bow and say in Japanese, hello. I am a student of Huan Fei. Huan Fei, sorry.
He nods and starts speaking in more fluent Japanese to you. Greetings. My name is Yusaku Kimano. I run this dojo. I knew your master well. He was a good man. I haven't seen him in quite some time, though. I heard that he passed. My sincere condolences.
I bow and say, yes, he has passed. He was a great man and taught me a great many things.
Yes. Unfortunately, all the most beautiful flowers must one day wither and go back to the earth from whence they came.
Yes, but with death springs new life.
He nods. Yes. Huan Fei would have said the same. So, tell me more of why you have come here all the way to Japan.
He has recommended I seek this place. He has asked me to carry on his teachings to a new student, and he suggested that I could find someone worthy at your dojo.
Well, there I have many students who have potential, but, well, to truly assess their potential, you would have to spend some time here.
Is there something that you would allow? Perhaps you would not appreciate me coming and taking one of your students.
Of course not. A student of Huan Fei is always welcome here. If they wish to study your teachings as well as mine, that can only be a good thing.
Yes, with knowledge comes power.
Certainly, certainly. So, the only issue is that the dojo is running into financial difficulties as of late. It's rather stymied the intake of new students. Unfortunately, the teachings I mete out here are not so compatible with those who are cybernetically enhanced. I do my best to adapt the dojo to the more technological age we are living in, but finding the money for that is not easy. I worry we are falling behind the times. Unfortunately, the donations for the dojo are rapidly starting to dry up, and the number of students willing to pay for tuition, not as many as there used to be.
Unfortunately, I have no money in which I can help donate. However, I would be more than happy to help you promote the idea of martial arts amongst people. Perhaps if we have a display within the streets one day, they will notice how fantastic it is and how one can use it to defend themselves, and even the tradition in doing it.
I'll tell you what. Do you have a place to stay here in Tokyo?
I do not. Wait a minute, out of character. Did Dal secure a place for us to stay?
I don't think so. Not yet, anyway.
Then I will say, as of yet, I am with 2 other companions who I have agreed to travel with. However, we have nowhere to stay as far as I am aware.
I tell you what. If you are willing to help out with odd jobs during the day, help me run the dojo, I will let you stay here as a favor to my old friend.
I bow and say, you are most gracious and most generous. I very much appreciate what you are doing for me, as I am sure my master would also.
Yes, well, thank you. So, would you like to get started? Would you like me to show you to your room, and perhaps then you can assess the state of my students?
1 second. I will allow me to retrieve one of my companions from outside. Then if you would show us to our rooms.
Very well.
Cool. 1 moment, please, and then I'll run outside and grab Dong. Hey, Dong, I have secured us a place to stay.
Good. Dong appears to be getting quite hot.
Please, follow me.
He retracts his umbrella and follows him inside.
Cool. I go inside and I say to Usaki Kimono. Usaku Kimono. Yusaku Kimono.
Yusaka Kimono.
Yusaku Kimono.
Yusaku Kimano.
There you go.
You smell like kimono.
God damn it, Zinc.
I say to that guy, this is my friend Dong. And then I say to Dong, this is a friend of my master's, Usaku Kimano.
He kind of raises his eyebrow as he looks at Dong.
Dong scratches the back of his neck.
You can vouch for this man. He's a good man. He will keep to himself in the dojo, yes?
I look to Dong and say, did you hear what he said?
Mm-hmm.
I have not known him for very long. However, he seems like a genuine man to me. He seems a very kind soul. He was very scared whilst we were on the boat on our way here. I agreed to help him.
And sort of raises his eyebrow. As I said, I can provide you with a room and a mat to sleep on. Fortunately, when it comes to food and other expenses, you will have to pay your own way.
Yes,
as I said, you will have to make sure your friends behave themselves as well.
I understand what you are doing for us is most generous. I am sure that we will all be on our best behaviour at all times. And I understand we must pay for our own food as you are in troubled times.
He nods and he shows you to a room. He slides open the door. It's not a particularly nice room. It looks like it's basically a room used for storage, but there are a few kind of mats on the floor, and it looks like there's also a knackered fan as well. And yeah, I mean, you could live here. It's a million miles away from luxury, but you could live here.
Awesome.
If need be.
Should you be guessing Jim?
Excuse me?
Jim.
Yes. He said he'd meet us back here. He will
Jim,
come to us.
What are you doing all this time?
I'm looking for like a Japanese Boots or Tesco Express, something like that.
You're looking for what?
A Japanese.
Japanese Boots, right?
Okay. That'd be favourite.
Would that be streetwise or notice, since you're kind of searching around?
Use both. One to ask around and one to look with my eyes.
All right. One. Just give me a streetwise.
Streetwise. That's not very good. And the wild dice. Still not very good. Do you know what? I'm going to use one of my bennies.
Okay.
This is pretty important to find a decent shop.
Mm-hmm.
We're going with a 6.
All right, you ask around. Japanese people, they're very helpful. They point you towards a large chemist's.
Okay, I'll head in there.
All right.
I'm looking for a razor, some shaving foam, some hair dye, possibility of these lenses, but the shaving foam, the hair dye, mostly the lenses if possible, and on the off chance they might have a pair of gloves.
Okay. I imagine you look around. You don't find any like shaving razors. You basically just find
Old
electric
school
shavers.
Ah.
That's all you find. Basically, yes, old-fashioned razors are incredibly outdated at this point.
He's proper old school. He loves it. All right, we'll go with these newfangled dealers.
You find like a nice electric razor which sort of perfectly molds to the shape of your face and just basically gives you a completely clean shave.
What price?
Let's see. Does it actually have a price for a razor in the Savage Worlds?
I don't think so.
Jim was probably looking for a proper cutthroat.
Yeah, well, he's not going to bloody find a proper cutthroat razor in like a Japanese Boots in the future. No, you only find electric shavers, right. And they are $5 or 5 credits, I should say.
How about
check eBay?
How about hair dye?
Hair dye. Yeah, you find some hair dye. What colour do you want?
Sort of greying at the moment. Used to be black. So let's go with. Do you know what? Let's go crazy. Let's bleach it. Let's go making it lighter.
You want sort of blonde then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Opposite of what it normally was. So yeah. So blonde hair dye. And any gloves knocking about?
Gloves.
Maybe
there are some
latex.
There are some latex gloves, rubber gloves. Otherwise, this isn't an apparel store. This is a chemist's.
I'm just wondering because sometimes they have like side displays and stuff like that, but it's not winter, is it? It's quite hot, so probably not. All right, I'll leave them for now because they look a bit suspicious. Any lenses? In the beautician department.
Do you find some contact lenses? Yes.
I think to change my iris colour and whatnot. My eye colour, sorry. Or are these like prescription optical lenses?
Yeah. Basically, yeah, it's pretty standard these days. Most contacts have the option to kind of change your eye colour, just as a kind of a little gimmick that's basically caught on. And now, pretty much all contacts have that now.
And how much for a set of green ones?
Set of green ones, let's say about 25 credits.
They're high demand ones, then.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take those to the counter.
Right, so some hair dye. Some hair dye will cost you 2.
Okay.
So basically 7 plus 25, so that's about 32 credits in all.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Right. Okay, the chemist nods to you, and you now have your items. And you now have lost 32 credits.
Not so much lost, spent.
Well spent.
Just a quick gander around and a quick ask about a clothes shop.
Yeah, he nods and he says there's a thrift store around the corner.
They'll have a gander there.
All right, head to the thrift store.
But shit, it was 99 cents.
All right.
What sort of gloves do they have?
Yeah, there is. They've got various kind of gloves. Leather gloves, wool gloves, etc., etc.
Have they got like some white dress gloves? That'd be really cool.
No.
At the
white
thrift
dress
store,
gloves.
no. Anything that looks kind of like it's come from a wealthy gentleman, something that would suit his current ensemble.
No, not really.
Not really.
At best, there are some leather gloves that might be passable, but they kind of more look like things that a biker would wear.
Alright. Just take a set of the woolly ones then for now.
Right, you buy a set of leather gloves. Right.
Woolly.
Set of woolly gloves.
Yeah.
All right. That'll be 5 credits.